Hey, and welcome to IMO. In my opinion, with Jay and
It's still Jay. It's still
Apparently.
Jay. Yeah.
Who are you supposed to be?
Raccoon City's finest, Jill Valentine.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Well, you knew who it was as soon as I put it on. You knew who it was.
And
I'm Carol Baskin. Apparently.
I'm I guess confused because I'm a couple different people.
Yeah. Are you Spider-Man playing a Power Ranger or a Power Ranger playing Spider-Man? Sounding like Darth Vader.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's
Okay,
what I'm
so
asking.
this is gonna come off because I can't breathe. I don't feel like dying. At least not today. Put that over there for a second. Or leave it there. I'll put it away.
Okay.
Keep going. Continue.
Oh, no.
Talk about your outfit.
Oh my God, she just spit her gum out. I don't think Carol
Oh, don't keep
Baskin's
that in.
ever chewed gum
that in.
in the.
Well, she's not gonna be anymore.
No.
Who is that person?
She's one of
she's
the main
from Tiger
characters
King.
Of Tiger King.
And she killed her husband, and now she's dancing on a show.
Ah,
And she's pretty fucking crazy.
pass me my hat,
She's
please.
like a little old Jay.
So yeah, welcome to IMO. In my opinion, with J and M, and apparently
Carol
the J
Baskin.
stands for Jill,
Jill
today,
Valentine, yeah.
and D.
JV.
See?
So whose idea was this?
This was mine, last minute. Like super last minute, but
Correct.
we got it done.
No, I
Yep.
didn't. I refuse to do this. This is not my cup of tea.
No.
Why?
I am because I am a Christian. I don't believe in this
What?
stuff.
It is,
Hallelujah.
Bye.
Pagan holiday.
Amazingly pagan.
We were taught that. Yes.
Yeah, this was like the day of the devil type shit. Mm-hmm. Like this was a no, a complete no. We were in church
This
right
is
now
a
at this
no-no.
time,
This is a complete no.
but
Why was it a no in church?
because this was considered the day of the devil. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why? What's the history?
I don't know.
Satanist, I guess they related with Satanists, which is actually very funny. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago that I was gonna look into the whole Satanist thing, and I kind of did.
Not on the show.
No, I
No,
just
you
mentioned
did.
it to you. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I remember you talking about it.
Here's the funny thing. So if I was to ask you, Delilah, what do you think a Satanist does? What do you think it is?
They
Honest
worship
opinion.
Satan
Why do you think that?
because it's called a Satanist.
If I told you are completely wrong, would you believe me?
Yeah.
You are completely wrong.
What do they worship?
They're basically, okay, so I was watching a bunch of videos about it just to, hear people's opinions and different opinions, because obviously if you hear it from one, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right one. But I got a bunch of different versions of what it is, and they all kind of sang the same song. Basically, they are like atheists, but with religious tendencies, would be the simplest way. So they want the community of being religious, right? So like they want, to meet up somewhere and have people that believe the same thing and sing the same songs and this and that. They want that community, but they're not religious. And the reason it's called Satanists is because the guy who eventually made it, if I'm not mistaken, was he was a Christian and he didn't agree with what was going on. So to spite them, I guess, he used
That's cool.
the bad guy in the
That's
story,
cool.
So we really have the bad idea of what Satanists are.
Wow.
I don't care. I'm still not gonna associate
No, I'm not saying-
myself with
So
any
you would
of those people anytime soon.
really? You wouldn't be a friend? You wouldn't be friends with a Satanist? I have a
Hell
coworker
no.
that's a Satanist.
Really?
Yeah.
You should quit.
Why?
That's cool. You should have them on the show.
Nah,
Or no.
nah.
I mean, we can. I don't. If he's up for it, I'm game.
That's really
See, he already
He's
has
scared.
this. He has this fear already.
Why?
He has this fear, like if the devil hand is gonna grab him or something. Like,
Because that could just be some type of thing they say to get you in. Oh, we're not this, and then once
isn't
you're
that the
in
same
there,
thing Christianity
you're
does?
having a
No, we're not gonna collect your money from you.
Nope.
No.
no
Every month,
no.
please give us your taxes, please.
That's
Your
if you-
tithe, please. Every week.
taxes.
Every 2 weeks, please. And mira, we wanted that day. or we come knocking on your door for it.
They never.
Okay,
Never
it's the
have
same
they
deal,
ever
John.
done
It's
that.
the same deal, John.
No, it's not.
What
Don't
do you-
try to compare the two.
Oh my God, you're comparing religions, right? Christianity does the same thing. Don't you guys go prophetize outside? Aren't you telling people, "Hey, come join our club"?
I'm not telling anybody anything.
Isn't that the point of it? Yeah. So why couldn't they or try to? I mean, if they try to convince you, I mean, I don't think he's gonna try to. But why? What's the difference?
I'd rather not.
Exactly. I love it when I got points.
You didn't have a point. I just said I'm not gonna associate myself with any of those people. That's all I said.
That's racist or religionist. No. Okay. Oh, whatever. I digress then. What were we gonna talk about today?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
What did I mention? I mentioned
Childhood friends.
childhood friends. Why did I say that? I mentioned childhood friends because as I had a friend in grammar school, well, one of my best friends, and it was her birthday and whatever, and that kind of got me thinking, like, man, it's been how many years since, like, 7th, 8th grade? Because I think I met her in 7th grade, and it's funny how life goes on, isn't it? Like, you lose contact with these people, we all move on and keep going or whatever. Like, which one of your old friends do you still wish you can talk to, if you have any? John, I know you don't have many, but
No.
if you had one, who would you say you wish you could reconnect with and
That I
make it better?
totally lost contact with?
Sure, let's go with that.
Probably Raul. He was a next door neighbor. I haven't seen him in forever. He came to Nathan's. He came. I guess Nathan was having a party, and like I said, he used to live next door, and he came to visit not too long ago. So Nathan got to catch up with him, but I haven't. I haven't seen that kid in 20, 25
And why
years.
were you best friends with him? What was
He
so
lived next
special?
door.
What's that mean? I had a lot of neighbors. I
Well,
don't even know who they are.
We used to play a lot of Sega.
She's
She's
my niece, and she lived 3 blocks down. I barely went to see her. What are you talking about?
Well,
Terrible.
Just saying.
I mean, we were about the same age.
So you had no
he had the-
experiences at all with him, just the fact that you guys were the same age and lived a door down from each other.
and we like playing video games. So he had
Now we're getting somewhere. Let's dive into that.
He had the Super Nintendo. I had the Sega,
Sega.
and we just used to go over each other's houses and play.
What was your favorite game back then?
Ninja Turtles.
Which one? The
I don't
Turtles in
know,
Time one or the
one from
Hyper?
90 something.
But the Sega one or the Super Nintendo one? There's 2 different ones.
He had that.
I'm gonna ask
So
you to
the
stop
Super
flexing
Nintendo.
your boobs. By the way, I totally saw that. Like, just please.
That's involuntary.
Oh,
Eventually, we're gonna have a Janet Jackson situation.
incident. Oh my God, Delilah, you're recently out of high school and not too long ago grammar school and all that. So you got less years in between your youngin' years. Do you have a friend you wish you could still talk to, or that you lost contact with that you?
One of
Could
my
change?
mom's old friends, her son, we used to be kind of close. I wish I could. I have no idea where he is. Like, I tried to search him up on Facebook, but I couldn't find him.
And why?
I don't know. He was cool to hang out with, and he was hot, so kind of miss
What age was this in?
I don't know, probably 12, 11.
So if she's thinking about
You sure you're not confusing that kid
11-year-old
with
like
that
that.
poster on your old bedroom door of Jacob,
No, that
Team
was way
Jacob?
before my 12th or
Jacob.
11th.
the guy from Twilight? She was big Team Jacob,
Oh,
big time,
Oh my
big
God.
You,
time,
What
I
a
was
fool.
Team Edward.
big
Edward
time.
all the way.
Oh my God,
I will say something.
tell us.
In that conversation that kid was having with Nathan, he said, "You know what? I wish, like something like you guys would have adopted me, because I
No
had
way. Really?
Oh,
a rough upbringing, and I wish I was part of your family," which was nice.
oh my God.
I didn't know that. He didn't.
Or maybe he had some type of child abuse and you didn't help him. I'm just kidding. I'm watching this
How
show.
am I
Oh
supposed
my
to-
gosh.
I don't know. I'm watching
that's
this
so
show.
sad.
I'm watching this show about something Hernandez was his first name.
Gabriel?
Gabriel Hernandez.
That's
There's a
so- I watched
special.
that.
There's a
It's so
special on
sad.
Netflix about it. Mina told me to watch it.
The fuck is that?
He's the kid. You don't remember hearing about this
respect.
kid in California that got killed by his gangster parents? Like
Like he was
they were beating him
abusing
up. Yeah,
him?
they were beating him up real
No.
bad. It's a pretty sad story. We'll touch on it in a
Really
second.
sad.
My friends, I don't have a lot of friends, but I remember.
That's not
Here's the funny
surprising.
part. Here's the funny part. Is it weird that you don't know? Like, do you remember when or how you met someone? You're a little younger than us, but like, for me, it's like my best friend when I was in grammar school, which was the girl who had her birthday. Her name was Jasmine. I remember she came from Mozart Grammar School. She transferred to Monroe.
Okay.
And she'd probably get mad at me by saying stuff. She used to be really like
Well, you haven't
tomboyish.
talked to her in forever. So.
No, I mean she's still friends with me on Facebook. Like I'll say hi to her here and there, but she used to be like really tomboyish. She used to wear baggy jeans and big shirts and stuff like that. Used to have her hair always in a bun. I found her cute. I don't know why I found her cute. And nervous. Mind you, I'm in 8th grade. She was in 7th grade. And nervous me eventually. I don't know how I talked to her. Like I don't remember how the hell I like said hi or whatever. Like I really don't. But we became really good friends. It was weird. Like it was just like instant. Like I feel like those type of friendships are I don't want to say special because obviously me and her are not friends like that anymore, right? But like that happened with me and Martin. That happened with me and Ralph. I don't want to say you, but you kinda, because like
instant friends. Are you saying?
kind of, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we've known each other since we were born, basically.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, like he used to beat me up, not beat me up, but he used to pick on me when I was a kid.
Damn,
Pick.
bully.
Yeah.
Right.
Bully.
He was a bully.
I kind of
right?
was. Yeah.
But I think the one time that I remember that it kind of started. So one year, like all the churches in their council, they would have this grouping. They would like it was like what's it called?
Jubileo.
Yeah. So all the churches would meet up somewhere or whatever, and have services and stuff like that. And one year it was like in Florida or some other state.
It
And
was Florida. That's the only one I went to.
No, you didn't go.
Cool.
Let me finish.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
even remember our man, bro. You don't even remember our origin story, bro. You fucking punk.
I realized we had.
Give me your gun.
You just call me a fucking punk.
Oh.
There used to be a time where a man treated a woman with respect. I guess those days are gone.
Not one that could hit a zombie in the head from 50 yards. So one year, they were going to go to convention or whatever, and I think my father was going, my sisters were going, and my mom was going, and then like all his family was going except for him, and I think your dad, because your dad was around.
Yeah.
And my mom and your mom came up with this idea. Oh, you should just stay with John. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get beat up the whole
Jesus.
week. Great. And then like ever since then, like it was just like an everyday thing. It was weird. I don't understand. I don't really remember what we talked about or what we did or whatever that week, but I remember that was the reason why. To me, that was the reason why, we ended up like being friends, because for some reason we spent that whole week together, and I don't know what we did, but
How old were you?
whatever. I don't know. We were young.
Yeah.
I want to say I was like.
I don't even remember this.
You don't remember that, really? Because you still had those two. You still had 2 beds in your bedroom. Because you and Nathan used to share that room.
Oh, okay. That was a long time.
That was a long time ago. I think it was right after they had finished that whole part of your basement. Like maybe like not too long after they had finished that part of the
Your
basement.
Uncle Charlie.
My uncle
Oh, here.
kind of reminds me of like a really dark-skinned Krusty the Clown.
No.
With his maracas. But whatever. We're not even gonna say the when he would
No.
What?
Stop that. You
What?
just did.
we're gonna leave that right there. We'll leave that there. But yeah, that's how I kind of met him. But with Jasmine, it was weird because Jasmine, like we came, I came out of her cotillion and all that. Like I still have pictures of that stuff. And like after high school, I went to high school. Obviously, I went to high school first, and then she stayed. And then like she hit this, and I know she's probably gonna say no, it wasn't. I think so. So she hit this like coming of age thing, right? Because like from 7th to 8th grade, it went from baggy jeans to big shirts to
It's called puberty.
hip
Everybody
huggers
has it,
and
yeah.
having, you know, she was a very, I gotta be careful what I say.
Yeah.
She's a really beautiful girl. Even now, she's a very beautiful woman. She's got an amazing family. She married her high school sweetheart, the whole nine. She's got 2 beautiful kids, the whole nine. So when 8th grade came around, you know, everything kind of changed. Like the way she dressed, the way she looked, she started fitting in with everyone her age, right? And since I wasn't there, you know, she became friends with someone else, and little by little, you know, everything kind of spreads away, and that's normal,
Yeah.
right? That's what happens,
That
you
is
know, whatever. It's just weird. Like you would think people that you had. I mean, I remember I met her parents. We would hang out in her house, the whole nine. It was kind of like how you and Dylan are, kind of like that. And that's why I tell you, well, I'm not gonna get into that.
No, what?
That's why I tell you that people that are friends. Oh, Dylan listens to this. People that are friends. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna.
Go there.
Okay, remember when I told you that friends, so like when like boy and girl friendships are fine, but they don't necessarily always work out that way. Because I think again, someone always starts with an interest or develops an interest.
No.
Okay, I'm just telling you because when I met Jasmine, when I first met her, I thought she was cute, right? Just the way she was real cute, and I liked her, and then we became good friends. And then I remember one time we were having a conversation, and I think I kind of already gave it up, and we had this conversation, and I think we dated. We talked about, you know, what if I tried to holler at you back then? And she was like, "Oh, you should have."
Damn.
But then I friend zoned you.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, no problem. It's no big deal, right? Obviously. But it's just like someone somewhere always develops something if they want to say it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think, again, it may not, my sister believes that men and women cannot be friends. She doesn't
Really?
she does not believe in
Why?
for that reason. And she may be right. She may be right.
I don't think
She
so.
has guy friends.
I know she has she doesn't have, no, not really. Not necessarily. And guy friends are not like, let's hang out like they do.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they sleep over each other's houses. My sister doesn't have friends like that. Because if you did that, as a Christian, what do you think is happening? You see how Christianity spoils your fucking mind? Just saying.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Not true. John, stop.
Kinda,
Stop.
Okay, I will say this. They kind of assume the worst, maybe.
Assume the worst. They're fucking at the door doing this with the aceite de oliva trying to fucking throw it at you, bro.
I don't know about all that, but
I'm just saying. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting how you look back at friends that you had and how many people you know. Like I know a shit ton of people. You might not. I don't know. Delilah, do you know a shit ton of people?
Yeah, I think so.
Like how many of them actually are friends with you? Like how many of them are actual friends? You know what I'm saying? Like close friends.
after this, probably none. But there's a couple.
But you don't find that interesting? I find it interesting. Like I know a shit ton of people. Like I'll go to a basketball game or whatever. I mean, I played sports. Like I run into a bunch of people, the same people. But I don't remember your name. But you remember me. You remember my name. I'm like Martin's another one. Martin remembers every fucking thing. He's like he'll tell me. You remember that time we played 5 years ago at 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second half? You remember that guy who did this? I'm like, no. How do you remember that, bro? It was this. You know who I'm talking about. No, I don't. I mean, I've seen so many people, but he knows you. Okay. I don't know who you're talking. I don't know who you're talking about. He has such a memory, I guess. But like, it's interesting how you know so many people, but like you only hold so many people close. You know, that you can actually like have conversations. And then, those friends that no matter the distance, whatever, you pick up conversations like it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like me and Ralphie went through some shit one time.
I heard about that.
And you know, not that it was anyone's really fault, and we just kind of split, like, you know, for whatever reason, and we didn't talk to each other for like a few years, but then like we'll catch up, and it's like nothing happened. Same thing with Martin, same thing with you, even though you're always around. But you know, there's certain people like that, you know, like you just pick up.
I feel like
Mina's another one.
Men have those types of
No,
relationships.
but I have one with
more,
Mina
more than
I think
women.
women
I had.
too.
Oh, you mean not men? And
where they
women,
can
you mean-
just
No,
pick
but
up
women
right
really
where they
hate
left off.
other women.
Yeah,
No.
They really
No.
hate other women.
No. I think it's also really cool too, like thinking about the effects you have on other people. So like there's this one girl that I barely remembered her, but we caught up recently, and she was like, "Do you remember that one time that you sat with me at lunch because I was sitting alone? That meant so much to me. Like I still think about that to this day." And I was like, "Oh my god, like I barely remember you. Isn't that cool? Like thinking about how you, I don't know, barely come in contact with someone, but you could have such a great effect on them."
I'm gonna tell you the only effect that I love that I have on people, and it's on young. Well, it depends on the person, obviously, but so like I play basketball with the same group of guys like every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, whatever. One of them I kind of get along with pretty well, and it's funny because he's good, right? You heard the gurgle thing? Did you hear that?
You sound like a frog.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm kind of out of breath, but that fucking mask like literally got me out of breath. So I met this kid playing basketball. He could play, right? And the cool thing about him is like he listens, right? Because obviously I'm older than him, right? I'm like 10 years older than him or more. And he listens, which is awesome. I think that's such a fucking lost virtue nowadays. Young people don't
everyone
listen.
Not just young
So
people,
you're just
everyone.
like
At all.
You're just like
Everyone.
a chick that wants a guy who listens.
No, I
Doesn't
want
say
look at
much.
here's the thing. So like I remember one time we were playing basketball and he did something and I think I told him like, dude, go this way instead of that way or whatever. And it's something simple like, or you need to work on your left or whatever, or work on this or whatever it may be. And he actually does it and I'm like, wow, the kid listens, which is again a lost
For
virtue.
everyone, not just for young people.
Fuck me, bro.
For everyone.
You know who else does that? Danny. Yeah, I don't know if you met Danny. Danny's the guy who owns the body shop. Maybe. Yeah,
No.
One time I told him the same thing. We were playing in a league game, right? And he comes down. And then the thing about basketball with me, like I kind of see things happen, and I can kind of break them down. Like I see it kind of slow when I'm playing. So like one day he's coming down court, right? Kind of on a semi-fast break thing, and he basically comes in, stops at about the free throw line, which is where he pulls up most of the time. Pulls up a jump shot, he makes it, right? Whatever. And on the timeout, I tell him, if you get the same opportunity, do it again, the same exact way. Give him a head fake. Watch how he jumps. Go get a layup. Same guy, same because they were playing one-on-one. We were playing man-to-man defense. Same thing happened, and then he comes up to me, and goes, "Dude, that made sense." And I'm like, "Dude, this is." I
you're
love
a
people
coach.
that listen. Not that I'm a coach. 'Cause I don't have no patience to be no coach. If you don't do what I tell you, get the fuck out. Period. Like I'm serious. If you don't want to play the way I want to play, then get the fuck out. I just think that it's interesting that people, you connect with certain people and like people that listen and you can share ideas with and they, you listen to them or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up for a second. But
I don't listen to him, especially playing basketball.
Well,
When I used to.
you have
Go for a layup. I'll shoot
You're gonna miss the
I'll
layup.
shoot a fucking
Yes.
even deeper three.
That was stupid on my part because you would just miss layups.
Yeah.
You would miss every layup. Oh, I did too. Well, I'm not gonna talk shit because I did
Most
too.
layups.
But what else did I say we could talk about today? There was something else I brought up. What was it?
I think you only said
Why do you keep
No. Because I wrote it to you. We were talking about we were talking about marriage.
Oh.
That see now he no you didn't tell me
I
anything.
don't
You didn't
remember
tell
that.
me
No.
anything.
Somebody else died.
yes.
Oh, I saw
Sean
Every
Connery.
time.
Every time.
Oh my
Every
god.
time
Today,
we go to film
every
something.
time.
Whatever.
But go ahead. Sean Connery. by the way.
Who
Sean
are you like?
Connery.
Are you Walter Mercado or something? Are you a tarot card? Are you
No,
one of
I'm
those?
not. I don't predict
Are you a
it.
Satanist? Is
I'm
that what
saying
it is?
every time I go to come over here, somebody dies.
Every time.
Pretty much.
This is 21 episodes.
It's
You're pretty
just-
sure there's
it's
21
happened-
deaths.
No. It's just happened more than once.
And you're talking about famous people.
And
And I'm
more
pretty sure.
recently.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure someone's died in every episode. I'm pretty sure someone somewhere has died.
Yeah,
It's about
but
famous people.
Pretty recently, it's been spot on. Every time I come.
Oh, fine.
Nobody died last week. We didn't do a show last week.
Okay.
Did we?
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
That's true.
All right. We'll see who dies next week. Tune in next week to who dies because John came to do the podcast.
My
Same
self-respect.
bet time. Same
died
bet
today
channel.
too.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on the whole marriage thing? That's an interesting topic.
What do you want to know about marriage?
You're the one that's married. Why'd you get married? Should you get married?
You should get married
Why?
because although it has its ups and downs, It's a nice ride for the most part.
Can you have the same relationship without being married? Does that affect at all anything that happens in a marriage? Take your time.
Well, I got married pretty quickly, like
I know.
4 or 5 months, so I don't have much to base it on. Like,
In your experience and what you've seen, do you think it affects? Do you think the people that are married, would they have a significantly different relationship if they weren't married, or would it be the same?
I feel like if something
Does that
major
question make sense?
happened,
Yeah.
if something major happened, there would be you'd be faster to pull the trigger on it, leaving, I guess, because there's nothing really attaching you.
Yeah, that level of commitment I feel like is the scary part.
Do.
Yeah,
That's what it sounded like, right? Like
Just thought of
NBC.
that.
I don't know. It's an interesting question for me. Because I'm a believer that you can have the same exact relationship without a title. You can. Period. I mean, you
It
really
just
can.
Sounds like you don't want to get married.
I don't know. See, it's not that I don't want to get married, right? Because I mean, I grew up with the whole marriage thing. That's important or whatever. Later on in life, I realized that really it's not what it signifies in reality versus what it signifies in belief, right? Two different things. In reality, right? This dimension, what really exists,
I know where you're going. with this.
it's only a piece of paper. That's all it is. It's a piece of paper, a document that states that you and this person are financially and physically and mentally and legally binded, right? That's what that means.
That sounds so scary.
That's all that it means. Now, if you look at it in the religious standpoint, it means other things, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. It means you can have sex finally, right? Wonder why
Finally.
so many people rush into marriage. Makes sense, huh?
I know a lot of.
And then they wonder why their relationships or their marriages don't work.
Whoa.
Hey, Bazing!
I know some that are still they're few and far between.
Stuck it
but
in,
they-
girl. Just stuck it in and twisted that shit.
There's some that are still going.
Watch it bleed. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Obviously it means different things for different people.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think marriage is important. I think it's fine. For me personally, if it gets there, if I get to that point, I'm down. But if my so-called partner or person I'm with or whatever says, you know what, I don't really care about marriage. Cool. I'm cool with that.
You realize
I am
that
flexible, though.
There is no difference, right? If you're with each other for a long time, you're I forget what they call it, but you're kind of legally married. It's like a civil union or something like that.
No, civil union is like with like two men getting married. That's a civil.
No, but it's something. It's called something.
Here's the difference.
Common law marriage. That's what it is.
And what does that imply?
That you're married.
What does
without
that
the
include
fucking
besides
thing.
that? So it's basically a meaningless word.
No, it means.
Is there any legal terms to
legally,
it?
If you die, she can take your pension. She can have your insurance and shit like that.
Wow.
How?
So, huh?
If there's no document binding you, unless he left you on their name.
If there's proof that you have been together for a long time, then
What's the proof?
What's the proof?
Facebook photos?
Yeah.
yeah.
How long your status hasn't changed? What would be? I'm asking a serious question. How would
I
you
don't know.
determine that?
I don't determine that. They do.
How? How would you determine that? Is my question.
No, ask them.
Because if
Ask
he's
the
dead already, you
Social
can't send.
Security office.
You can't
I don't
send an
know.
investigator because he's dead already. What is he going to investigate?
I mean,
His purchases of condoms or something? I mean, what? I mean, how would you even? I don't think I don't think you can do that. I don't think you would win that in any court or whatever. I don't think.
it's
'Cause
called a common law marriage.
a common
Law.
law marriage.
I think so. Yeah.
Hmm.
Look it
That's
up.
wild.
I don't have my computer here. Look it up. I think, again, I think there's a lot of benefits to not getting married Obviously, the most obvious one is the fact that you can go get out of it without going through this entire process.
Yeah,
Or
that's what I just said. You're gonna pull that trigger faster if you don't feel right or if.
but that trigger. First of all, let me tell you something. I think that trigger should be a hairpin, regardless. I don't think you should have to struggle through
really
marriage.
a hairpin. So
Dude,
you get into an argument.
no,
and you're
not
like, fuck you.
That's not what I'm saying by a hairpin. I mean in the
That's
sense
exactly
of
what a hairpin means.
no. I mean a hairpin is okay. Fine, a hairpin. Fine. Let me rephrase it. A regular trigger. Whatever. It shouldn't be one of those triggers that are like the hardest things to press. You get what I'm saying? Because that's stupid. That's stupidity, and that's something that we're taught. That we're taught since we were kids that you have to stay involved in this relationship. You have to make it work because because the bond that God makes will never break or whatever shenanigan it is that they say. Listen, I don't believe in that. That's ridiculous. There's always a reason why things don't work out. Why would you want to be in a miserable relationship or a miserable marriage? That's damaging to you. That's damaging to your children if you have it, because they're not stupid.
Like I said, marriage has its ups and downs. I mean, if you're miserable for a long time, then yeah, you should leave. But I'm talking about like for little things.
We're not talking about little things. Little things you get over. I'm talking about things that are meaningful, like financial shit, people's personalities, the way they act.
I just remembered. You know what?
Infidelity, big word.
Yeah.
How many points in Scrabble for that? Go.
We were gonna talk about if you should live together before.
Oh, that too. We could get there. That's another thing I think you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, your biblical doesn't allow you to do that.
What biblical?
Your theology doesn't allow you to do that, does it? I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
That's a huge mistake in my opinion. I know why they do it. I know why they do it because if you live with someone, you're gonna fuck them. You're gonna have sex with them. You're gonna be more tempted to have sex with them. That's the point. I get it. I get that, right?
Yeah.
But here's the beauty of it. If you do it, now you really know someone.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. I'm a guy, right? When I date girls, in the beginning, everything is wine and dine. Everything's perfume here. Everything's cologne there. Everything's clean. Blah 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 blah. You don't know someone until you live with them.
True.
You don't know somebody, man. You don't know what they do. You don't know how disgusting they really are, or how lazy they are, or how filthy their house is. Or
it is true.
You have no idea. You have no idea. So then when you get married, you get blind punched by their laziness or their fucking
just their habits.
Yeah, their habits, and it's like now you're fucked. Now you're fucked, right? Because you're fucked for a year. By legally, you're fucked for a year because you can't file divorce for a year.
What?
You can't file for divorce within a year. You have to. It's
Holy
the court.
Annulment?
The court has a 1 year like time frame to give you time to work it out.
Why?
To give you time to work it out.
What the?
And biblically, you're royally fucked because you're not supposed to leave that person. Period.
Nope.
Period. You're not supposed to. So now what do you do?
No, but there's like, I'm sure that's not the case. Anymore.
I mean, it's not the case. You can get out of it, of course, obviously, because religion. Okay, again, I'm not gonna say religion is fake, but if the Bible says you're not supposed to get out of it and people get out of it, obviously there's a mixture.
There's got to be like a major infraction. If your husband kills one of your kids, you can get divorced. I'm pretty
I
sure
think
you're not
divorce
penalized.
is the least thing on your mind. That guy should go to jail and be crucified on a cross.
Okay.
My opinion. That's the
talking
super
about major
extreme.
infractions.
That's super
I'm
extreme
pretty sure
fraction.
even stuff less than that, you can get a divorce, and people aren't gonna frown upon you or whatever they say. I mean, you're
maybe not. Maybe not. Because again, we're not gonna say names. Everybody's gonna know who I'm talking about. Like in a certain case that we both know.
I don't.
That
know.
guy.
You don't know that I know.
That you do know. That guy left that girl. You know this. This is very close to you.
Oh my God.
That guy left that girl. He divorced her. You still don't know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. No, okay. Whatever. Okay. Here's the clue in.
So
don't
fucking Daisy Dukes are fucking pinching me. Franks and beats.
It's okay. It's piquito. Don't worry about it. It's piquito. Don't worry about it. It can't be that uncomfortable. You've been sitting there for about 2 hours already. So he left her, right? For whatever reason. We're not going to say that. And we're not going to say reasons. We don't care whose fault or not.
No.
My point is, it's still looked upon him negatively, like he did something wrong because he divorced her. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a double standard. Like, I think if I divorced my wife in a Christianity type of atmosphere, I would be looked at like I'm the bad person because she's the woman. The woman's always innocent and this and that and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double standard. Again, divorce to me is something that should be used, I don't even want to say sparingly. I think your happiness is way more important than anything. If that person you're with doesn't make you happy, something's got to change.
But the message you're sending is
get married and get divorced? No, the message I'm sending is know who the fuck you're marrying to begin with.
Well, yeah, that's ideal.
Sure. Unfortunately, in a lot of religions, that's not the case because that's the reason why a lot of people rush into fucking marriage. Why do you think the average age, and from what we grew up,
Growing up, yeah.
what was the average age of marriage?
It was fucking teens and
mid 20s.
If you weren't married by like 23, they were like, "Well, she's gonna stay
yeah.
fucking single for the rest of her
Right,
life."
and then if you already got to 25, then you're looked at like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Yeah, her life's over.
Exactly.
She's a nun.
It's already pushed. It's already pushed that way. Like you're supposed to be married by this age. Why? But why do they do it? Because they want to fuck. They want to have sex. Because human beings, that's naturally
Somebody
our thing.
we know said exactly that.
What? What did I say? Say it again.
That they wanted to get married to.
Oh yeah. He said it on the altar and everything. I remember that day.
But
was
you know
preaching
what?
about it.
They're still going strong.
And that's okay. That's wonderful. I'm all for that. I'm not saying he did anything. I'm just saying it was funny. But that's a bad reason to do that. Now, mind you, if you already have sex before marriage, right? Then that's not an issue.
True.
That's not a reasoning to get married. And the whole excuse, oh, but you have to save your flower for that special person.
Ew.
I hate to break it to most people. I know a lot of people have their own ideas. Obviously,
your cloaca.
everybody has their ideas of how special this is, right? And that's okay. Everybody has their own mentalities on it. To me, sex is sex. The physical action of it is sex. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Now, the emotional part that you add to it, that's different. That's completely different. That's a whole different topic. That, the mental connection, Mina's big on energy and the mental connection. That's cool. I love that. That's pretty cool. Religion people, obviously, you get married for that reason because God makes a bond and this and that. And there's a bunch of different reasons of why it happens. But it's pressure, especially when it comes like in religionist situations.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure to get married for that, because you're so eager. Because obviously, as you get older, what do you want to do? As you go on dates by yourselves, what happens? Shit starts. Mind you, shit happened when I was in church.
Yeah.
Shit happened, and that's cool. But there's a reason why they run the marriage because they want everyone to approve that they're having sex.
True.
So I think marriage, living with someone helps, man. Because you really don't know someone. You don't know they fucking snore.
You know what? My coworker's daughter came to the job. I was like, oh, she seems nice. She's a decent looking girl. She seemed like a good girl. And then a couple weeks later, the guy tells me, oh, my daughter's a fucking pig. She has like 25 Coke cans on the floor of her bedroom, and it's all sticky. And I was like, oh. Yeah, that you would not want to be married to something like that.
Everybody has their thing, man. Like, I'm not the
It
neatest.
shouldn't be a thing.
Well, everybody's different, and this is why you have to really get to know someone before you get married. Like, when I mean really get to know them, not use excuses of the spirit's gonna tell me what it. No, you have to really get to get to know this person, like everything. How in the world do you get involved? Yes, how they think, what they think about. What they do in this situation, how they throw out the garbage. Do they not throw out the garbage? Do they wash the dishes? Do they pile the dishes anywhere? Do they take a shower every fucking day? That type of shit.
I think that one's pretty important.
You'd be surprised. I think you'd be very surprised. You get what I'm saying? All these things add to successful relationships. But a lot of people avoid that part because of pressure from family members, because family members always say it. Like, I've had people tell me before, like my aunt will tell me, ¿Y cuándo tú te vas a casar? ¿Ah? ¿Tienes novia? Tienes que buscarte una novia ya. Tú estás viejo ya.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? What's that telling me? To just take whatever the next chick is? Even though I really, really don't know her? That's great. That's awesome. Let's go for that. That's not how that works. Delilah, what are your thoughts? You haven't said anything.
I
Talk.
don't know. I don't know anything about marriage. The whole idea of it is very scary to me, to be like legally binded to someone for the rest of your life.
That too, man.
That's-
Legally binding.
that's
Man,
so
you think I want to inherit somebody's debt? You think I want to leave my
No.
debt to somebody? I don't want to leave my debt to somebody.
I think I could
is that
be.
all you're leaving?
Huh?
Huh?
I'm leaving this wonderful Rode mixer. Rode, you should send us products to test out. This freaking mixer, by the way, is freaking awesome. It's by Rode Podcaster Pro.
That is their product.
I know, but they should send us free products so we can test them out because they make other stuff.
Can they send us one of those and then we can get refunded for the one we bought? That'd be great.
Damn.
Probably not. Actually, this thing is actually pretty cool. So if our audio sounds better, it's for that reason. Rode is a great company when it comes to audio equipment. They make great microphones and stuff like that. So send us microphones.
Yep. So, like I was saying though,
I'm sorry, yeah.
I don't even know if I could be married to someone or just be with one person for the rest of my life. Like that sounds so scary to me, and I just feel like I get bored of people so fast. Like I feel like we talked about this a lot. How we both have this issue of getting bored of people so fast.
You'll find someone.
Imagine
I
being
don't know if
married
I could be with
already.
someone for
Like, imagine being married already. Like, a lot of our friends got married at like 19,
That's
18.
how-
And some of them still, I mean, and
That's
some of
so
them are still
scary.
together. I mean, we know a lot of them that are still together, and that's
Yeah.
fine. And we know a few of them that have issues, and we wonder why they still stick around with certain situations. But I know why they stick around, and that's the dangerous part about it. You know, like why would someone stay in a hostile type of
True.
relationship? Why would someone stay? Honestly, why do you think someone stays? For the kids? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So why would
That's
you?
a big one. That's
Why
a
do you
really
stay
big
for the
one.
kids? Why?
I feel like
What would
that's
be
such
the
a dumb
reasoning?
excuse?
Well-
Because the kids feel that too. You know.
Well,
what I mean?
let's. He has kids, so let's. Why would you say the kids? What's your reasoning behind the kids besides just saying kids?
Well,
What do you think is going to happen if you were to let's use you an example. If
it's
you were to get divorced, what
traumatic
would
for
happen?
them. It is traumatic for them.
I think it's more traumatic having parents who don't love each other in the same household like all the time than having parents who got divorced. Because I have friends
Wouldn't that
now.
be the same thing?
No,
Your kids would think
I
that.
have friends now that their parents are together and they could tell how miserable they are and it affects the whole house. And they were like, "Man, I wish they would just like get a divorce."
That's a good point.
I don't know.
That's a good point.
But I don't know. My mom wasn't married, so
I mean, and I'll tell you in my perspective, like my father and my mother, obviously they got divorced a couple years ago. He got remarried, whatever. My mom and my father's. I don't remember. Obviously, I'm the baby, right? So like, I've always asked Miliani, I've always asked Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany's not here anymore, but I would ask Tiffany, like, did you see the nice side of this relationship? You know, I don't remember it. I don't remember my dad like holding my mom's hand or them going out to dinner and stuff. I don't remember that because I'm the baby. So, you know, I think, again, I don't agree.
You were the reason they couldn't go out. To dinner.
Probably. I don't agree that shit should stop as you get older, right? Like if you're gonna be romantic, you should be romantic, even with kids or without kids or whatever.
It gets harder. Definitely
That's
gets
true.
harder, but I agree with you.
I think it shouldn't get to that point, right? I mean, I think it does get harder, but it shouldn't. Like, I know me. I know who I am, right? You guys know me. If I got married tomorrow, in 30 years, I'm still gonna be doing the stupid shit that I do.
Yeah.
The cutie shit that I do. I'm still gonna do it, regardless. But that's just me. Their relationship was weird because again, I didn't see it. Now, I don't want to use the excuse. The only excuse I can give was that I didn't see it because I was too young. But I saw really bad parts, right, where they're married but they didn't look like they were married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they were just hanging on to this, and we were older already. You know what I'm saying? We weren't kids anymore. They
I
got
would see
divorced.
it too
They
when
got
I come
divorced
home.
like 5 years ago, right? And I mean, we weren't kids. We were grown as adults, but those were bad situations. You know what I'm saying? And I think they should have done that years ago. if that's really what they felt. Because it doesn't hurt me. Because right now they got divorced. It didn't hurt me. You're going to say, but you're an adult. Sure. But I still have my memories as a child. I still have my memory of my family, and I wouldn't want that to go away. But I understand as an adult that happiness isn't always the case. And I get what you're saying for the kid, and you don't want, that's traumatic. Yes, it is. But at some point in their life, they're going to grow up. And at some point, they're going to say to themselves, they're going to say what I said. They're going to say, I really just want them to be happy.
Yeah.
Right? But now at that point, it's too late. Because now how many years did you waste?
That's what I'm saying. What's the plan? Like, if you stay in a marriage just for the kids, what happens when the kids leave? You get what I'm saying? Like, are you still going to stay married?
You leave or something. But it's...
And do what? Because by the time that happens, you're in your fucking 40s, 50s. What are you going to do?
But, I mean, people feel like they got to sacrifice for their kids.
Aren't you sacrificing every day?
Being unhappy?
Yeah. Is that really, I mean, do you think your kids are going to want that when they grow up? Do you think if in 10 years or 15 years, 20 years, if you go back to Aiden and you ask him, would it have bothered you that I got divorced back then? Do you think he's going to be like, yeah,
Sure,
it would
he
have killed
say,
me?
yeah.
No, I bet you he's
man.
going to understand and realize if you are unhappy, if you were unhappy in your situation, you should have got out of it.
This is all hypothetical.
Correct. It is hypothetical. I'm just saying. I'm using you as example because you're the only one that's married. But you get what I'm saying? Like, if your son at some point, or my son at some point, is going to understand, right? And I go back and I tell him, man, your mom was, man, I couldn't deal with that shit. You think he's going to say, man, I'm so happy you suffered for me. If he really cares about you, he's going to be like, why didn't you go find someone to make you happy? Because he's going to understand at some point. At some point in his life, he's going to understand.
With an older mind, he's going to be like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have stayed. But if you go when he's young, when he's 10, 12, it's going to hurt him.
How would it hurt him?
I mean,
Do you think they're going to be less successful?
From going from
There's your sacrifice.
Seeing your parents every day to seeing one
Sure, absolutely.
once a week now.
Sure. But there's your sacrifice. Your sacrifice that's a hard sacrifice. Trying to be a father when you're divorced. That's sacrifice nobody likes to take. Especially men.
Yeah,
but that's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice that I think is worth sacrificing
but
for.
That's not a sacrifice.
What do you mean it's not a sacrifice?
Your kids to make
No, you're not.
Happy.
You're sacrificing all your strength and your energy to be in that person's life when you're also trying to have your own life. That's a sacrifice. You have to think about your own life too. No one else is going to think about it. No one else is going to think about your happiness. Is your happiness not important?
I mean, everybody's is.
Sure. Can they be happy with a divorce? Is there can you be successful in a divorced household? Can the kids be happy?
It's possible.
I think it does.
Sure.
Like, I feel like it's important to note that it does like fuck them up a little bit.
I think so.
It fucks them up just as much to be in a household where the
I
parents
agree.
don't like each other.
I think that's a bad case too.
Either way.
If you see your parents fighting all the time, not happy, not developing this what you think of a normal relationship,
that's gonna show them what a relationship is when they're older.
That's hard. That's harmful too.
Yeah.
Now again, I'm not saying you should get divorced. That's not my goal. My point is, if you're gonna take that step of marriage, really know who the person you're getting involved with. Take years, decades of time to figure it out.
Like I agree. Decades.
Take time, bro.
Okay.
Take all the time in the world to figure out who you want to.
Take as much time as you need.
Take as much time as you want. As you want and feel you need to freaking.
That's what I just said.
Take as much time as you can.
Sure. Take as much time as needed to really understand this person and who you plan on spending, quote unquote, the rest of your life with. Because divorce ain't cheap. But yeah, there was so you wanted to touch on, what was the other one? That one was it, right? Or sex before marriage. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I think you should have sex before marriage.
I agree.
Period.
Yeah.
It's just so much. I mean, again, it shouldn't be the most important thing, but I think I think, and everybody uses this
I
excuse.
think people dismiss it
People use this
and
excuse.
say it's not important.
Yeah, because they say we can work on it.
No.
That's spoken. No. That's only for people that say that are people that probably never had sex.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you can work on it. Yes, I think you can. Right? You can. Oh, I like it this way. Okay, cool. Next time I'll do it this way. Cool. I think you can learn that.
That part.
But
I
there's a
mean,
thing.
if a guy drops his pants, he has a 1-inch piece of deal. What are you gonna do?
That's true.
There's no working
That's
on
true.
that. That's
You're stuck with that.
But then they're gonna come back and say, "Well, that shouldn't matter." It's not about. That's what people are gonna say. I mean, somebody's gonna have to love that man, right? Someone's gonna have to. You get what I'm saying? I mean, I get the point where they're like, "Well, that shouldn't matter." I get it because it's more than just that. Yes, of course, relationships
But
are more
that's
than just sex.
important, though.
Sure,
Like, intimacy is so important.
I
I don't
agree.
feel like people recognize that.
I agree. Do I think compatibility is necessarily a big thing? That's a better question. Because sensuality, I mean, you could both be freaks, but if you're both not pleasuring each other, then there's still a problem.
yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you have to have compatibility, some type of compatibility, right? I think at least some. I mean, there's certain. I mean, yes, you can learn things and whatever, fine. But I mean, you have to have something. Like you can't have a sex freak that wants to have sex
I can't just pick on the guys
every 3
either.
hours, and then you're one of those chicks or guys
If a
that
girl drops her drawers and she's got fucking roast,
God.
that might be a turnoff, and she can't do anything about that unless there's some type of surgery.
God.
I'm just saying, I don't want to pick on a guy and not say something about a girl.
Could have said anything else, but that I mean, there's a lot of things, bro. You could have went to you could have went to stretch marks. You could have went to this. You could have went to
No,
that. There's a
stretch
bunch
marks
of stuff.
Smells like a sewer down there, then you got a problem.
You could have went. Could have went a lot of other ways. For 5 more minutes, I wanted to let's talk about that Netflix thing. That was an interesting film.
Oh no,
The Gabriel Hernandez thing. That was an interesting thing. That was
was
bad
so
situation.
Watch it. I don't
Did
even
you
know who the
finish?
guy is.
Did you
Okay.
finish it?
No, I haven't finished it yet.
So a kid gets killed by his gangbanger parents.
He was abused.
He was
to the point
abused.
where he was killed.
Yes. And the issue was so they ended
Was
up
killed. Yes.
So the parents went to court for murder, blah blah blah, and then they tried to get the Department of Child Services. Certain members were tried as well for them. They were accused of basically
Negligence.
allowing to have this person killed, right? With negligence. Now, I'm the big skeptic, right? I agree that the parents should go to jail, and they were seeking death penalties for them.
But
I think just for the guy they were.
No, they were for both. She's more guilty than he is. She's the criminal
But I
mastermind.
think he actually got it.
I don't know if it happened. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've read it somewhere, but I didn't really remember it too much. This was about 10 years ago, almost. No, like 9 years ago. I think when it comes to the social workers, right? I get what people are saying, right? They should have done more, right?
yeah.
But at the same time, how do you blame? I think there was like 5 social workers or 6 of them. How do you just get those 6? Why isn't that their bosses or the boss or whoever not involved? And this is why I find the issue where I'm like, if you're not going to sue all of them, you can't sue any of them.
That's not true.
It's not fair.
What do you mean it's not?
It's not fair because they're not directly, mind you, they're following a procedure that's in place.
That's what I feel like the whole
Okay,
message
you got to
of
show that they were incompetent. And then your supervisor is mostly in the office. He's probably
But the
sending
supervisor's
these
part of it
people
too.
out.
He was one of them too.
That's
Well,
what
what
I
if they're
feel
saying-
like the whole the whole point of the documentary was. At the end, it was like questioning like the whole system.
The system's fucked up. But what I don't find fair is that because you can't put the system in a courthouse, right? Because it's a system. You can't put it. So we have to shoot somebody. And I don't think that's fair. Because again, they were doing a procedure. Could they have done more? Sure. Did they do enough or was demanded of them is the question, right? So if this says, if the policy says, or the way you're supposed to do this says, okay, let's just simplify it. what's this person's name? Where does it live? Where does she live? What's her zip code? What's her Facebook? Whatever. Let's just say that's the process. If I do that, I did my job. If something else happens outside of that, how is that my fault? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, could I have asked more questions? Absolutely. Absolutely, I could have. Did I need to do that? No. Was that required of me? No. So then how am I in trouble for asking the 5 questions that are there? And because I didn't ask what her phone number is, I should go to jail.
Speaking as a law enforcement officer
Of a city that got nuked?
that got run over by zombies, you've got to do everything you possibly can.
That's not true.
And
That's not true.
What?
You,
As a social worker.
You have to do everything that is required of you according to policies because you are an employee. Do you get what I'm saying?
And did they?
That's the question. And how do you determine that? Is my question. But
So
that's
how are you saying it's no fair if they
because according to the documentary, some of them did. Some of them did. But since they put them all together, they're all going to get the same punishment. That's not fair. Justice is for everyone, not just for a certain group.
Well, I haven't watched it. So.
That's my thing. And I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, how many cases of child abuse, maybe not to the point where someone dies, that happened, that slipped through cracks, or this doesn't get publicized.
True.
Right? So obviously the problem is not with the individuals that are doing it necessarily. I think some of them might have had, just decided not to write something down. I think the system is the problem. Right? But the system, unfortunately, right? The system isn't going to change because I don't know how you change it. And since I have no way of giving you an idea on how to change that system, I can't say anything. So me protesting for it, or because I think there was a big protest for it back then, me protesting for it or whatever is pointless because I don't know what a solution is. And I don't think there was a solution. I don't know if the court, I think they're still in court if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think the lawyers might still be or whatever. I don't know what happened.
10 years later?
No, they're not in court.
I don't know. I don't know if they ended up in, I got to watch the rest of it and do some research, but I don't know how you fix it. So how do I?
There's just stuff you can't fix.
I know.
Unless
and at
you're
this point,
live at the home, what the fuck are you
and
gonna do?
and then I remember watching a part where a social worker went, they were like, they went to a random house that got accused of something, and they asked to see the baby, they checked the water, they did this, they did that. And she was saying that it's really hard to pull, wow, that was loud. It's really hard to pull someone from their home, a child.
I didn't eat to fit into this outfit, so my stomach's
listen,
kinda...
it's really hard and dramatic. Okay, so listen, the lady was saying that law enforcement going into a home and taking the child is a very dramatic thing, and I agree. Right? That's not what you want. Right? It's not what you want. You want it to be where the family can work. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to just say, "Oh, we got one complaint, we're gonna pull this child from the home," right? Because at the end of the day, we want the family, we want the child to be with the mother and the father. That's what we want, right? But in this case, they were saying that they waited too long for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the people that are talked to on the phone, stuff like that, like, again, it's hard to determine. How do you determine that with conversations on the phone? It's hard to tell. Did they investigate enough? Did the police officers that went to go check up? There's so much stuff involved in it that it's hard to determine if those people are 100% guilty. You get what I'm saying? It's hard, and it's the system. And if you want to elaborate what you were trying to say a little while ago about the system, we can talk about that for 2 seconds.
Didn't want to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
She hates the system.
Yeah, because
Every system.
she was comparing it to the police system. And my thing with that is what I said. My thing with that is I have no idea how to change child services. I don't know what I can do or an idea I have that would change that problem. So why am I saying anything or yelling for it? You know what I'm saying? I get protesting is to bring awareness of it. I get it.
Yeah.
But all of this drama for it, and you don't have a
Because
clue
if
of what you want to do.
Say something, then the people who actually have the power to change things aren't going to change anything.
And what if they don't have an idea?
What
if
if
they're
this-
like
You have
us?
to try to come up with
What
something.
if this is the best you got? and
Yeah.
There
What if it's the best-
literally is no way.
I mean, this is stuff. These are
fix
systems that were put in place years ago and were thought about and were used. I mean, if they were done like laws are, where like they're voted on and conversated amongst people, like when they say about like now they're talking about the fair tax law and revoking it. So obviously it's something that's voted on, right? It isn't just one person's bright idea. You know what I'm saying? If this was all thought through,
Yeah, but
then
it was
what do
thought
we-
through at a time that was different. It wasn't thought through in our modern society now.
maybe
it
not,
has
because
to
some
change.
things were,
It isn't a thing where they just say, okay, it's done and we're not going to think about it for another 50, 60 years. I'm
Right.
pretty sure they got a
it's something that's probably thought about pretty often, especially
yeah.
when shit happens. But the reason a lot of things don't change is not because we don't want them to change, is that we don't know how to change them. Like, how do we change child service laws? How do we change it when what we have right now hasn't been changed since X amount of time? How many kids have probably gone through the system and complained about it, and they probably talked about it, and they can't come up with a solution? So then where do we go from there? How do we solve it if we've already had meetings and we don't find a conclusion? I think what people want is that people just want what they want. People are not happy until they get what they want.
yeah.
And unfortunately, everyone has a different opinion in this country. So it's never going to be what you want. It's like with this presidential thing. Oh, people want Democrats. The Democrats don't win. If the Democrats win, the Republicans are pissed off. Vice versa. Like it's you're never going to get what you want, and that's what people want. I don't even know what they want. Like in child services, what do you
they just
want
wanna
in child
complain.
services?
I don't know.
What do you want from child services? What's an example? I don't even know. I don't know, because I don't want to say pull the kid.
You can't know.
You can't just do that. You can't just do that. Should we put them in protective service maybe for a week to see what's going on?
I mean, unless
I
the
don't know.
kid's telling you, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Well, most
I
kids are
have
not
to
going to
get
do
the
that,
fuck outta here.
unfortunately.
I think at one point Gabriel did tell someone that.
I think he was giving like illustrations. Like I think a security guard was talking about that but he took it as a metaphor because he was like, he showed him a bruise or something, and the cop was like, oh, he's showing me that he was getting beat up. And I feel that.
Kids don't do metaphors. They show you what's going on.
No, but he did it
And
like
it wasn't-
passing
wasn't
by.
just showing
He did it
was
passing
all
by.
over
Like
his face and head.
right, but he wasn't like, he didn't stop the officer and say, or the security guard and say, hey, this person's beating me up. He
No,
kind of
but there-
just
I
he
think there
kind of
was
just
something
did like.
else. There was something else where he actually said it to someone.
I think he was telling it to like his teacher, like he was getting hit with a belt or with a belt buckle, but
Okay,
like that's
well,
nothing for us. That's nothing for us. We got hit with belts all the time, or whatever. Again, it's hard to say what a solution is. I think and again, it's wrong, right? Because they basically killed that boy. That's wrong. But how do we solve that when the whole foundation of child services is to keep the child in the family? Right?
Good question.
Nobody else
I
wants to
said,
elaborate
I
to that
mean-
besides me? Fuck. I'm the only one that talks right here.
No, I'm just saying. Maybe there is no solution. Maybe this is the best you can do, and that's that.
I think the issue
you gotta
is
live with the
even
consequences.
if you're like, oh, this is the best we could get. I think the issue is where you stop trying to find solutions, and
But-
you're just like, well, this is we have no idea what we're doing.
But we're
so
stopping.
just gonna leave
But we
it.
are stopping trying to come up with solutions because we don't have any. That's the thing. Who's
talking about
stopping?
the people who have the power to change things,
And
not us regular folks.
I get it, but they do that. But regular folks are what come up with these laws. We are the ones that vote on these things. So if we want a voice, like everyone says, we want this voice, we want to be heard. You have to come up with an idea. This is where it all comes from. It's not just what I want, because if it's what I want, you're gonna disagree regardless. It's like the same thing with the parties. Like if Donald Trump says, let's say you want free water. Donald Trump says free water, but then you say, oh, well, we're gonna charge taxes. Oh no, fuck him. Like you guys, no one's ever happy because they want what they want. Doesn't matter what that person wants. It's what I want. Like with the cops. Let's just say, for example, the cops. Defund the cops. Cool. That's what you want. Is that what the majority wants? Is that what's right? It's not what you want. It's what is right
So
for
then
the
what
situation.
is your
What's best
solution
for
then?
everyone?
What's best for everyone, not just you.
What's your solution then?
For which?
I'm just saying in general, when you have an issue where you're like, I don't know how to fix it.
I don't comment. I talk about it, I have my opinion on it, but I don't go protest because I have the right to protest if I want to, but I'm not giving anything to help that problem. I am just there holding a sign. I don't have an idea. I don't have any type of way to help this situation. I'm just there doing this. Cool. Yeah, I'm on TV and we're telling people about it. But what am I doing to help that problem? What am I coming up with to help that problem? Nothing. I am not contributing to the solution of the problem. I am actually probably doing the opposite. Because a lot of times protest, and that's an actual interesting protest because it was pretty clean. It was pretty clean. Like nothing really happened. It was very civil from what I saw.
That one. That
That
particular
one. That one. Because it was a big deal in California, but nowhere else in the world. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make any sense at all? Like I get protesting is fine and that helps certain things. But if you are not helping in the sense of coming up with an idea.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I mean, are these people any different than you and me? Besides them being educated? Why don't you get educated and go be a social worker? Try to change it that way.
Probably be the best female social worker in the
Jill?
state of Illinois. Jill Valentine.
But you get what I'm saying? It's such a... I feel that if you really want to voice your opinion, you have to think about it, right? If you really sit down and think about what's going on and you say, shit, I don't know how to fix this.
Well, then just shut up.
I mean, not shut up. I mean, you can talk because we live in a country of well, we don't live in a country of freedom of speech nowadays. You can't say what you want to say nowadays. You have to be very careful what you say nowadays.
Yeah, you do.
But you have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say, right? That's fine. My thing is, if you're not going to help, right?
But how do you expect these common people who have no background on things like that to?
So then how do you think there's a problem? If you're a common folk and you don't have an idea how to fix something, then how do you? Because as a
human, you can see, oh shit, that kid died. Something must have happened. That should be changed.
Okay, and so.
But you don't have the backing to be like, well, this is the law that we should put into place, and we should put this into the system so that this doesn't happen again.
So, in that particular case, you don't think you could say, well, his mom and his dad probably should have not hit him? Isn't that common sense? Probably should have treated him nicely.
I'm talking about the system.
Sure, but there's things but that's the common thing. So the common thing is for us to do something first. That's the first thing. Us as humans, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. There's easy solutions to all this stuff. His mom and his dad, or his stepdad, because I don't think it was with that.
Shouldn't have had a kid.
Because she didn't even want it. So she shouldn't have had a kid to begin with if she didn't want it, or put her for adoption, or had an abortion, or whatever the fuck.
There's always going to be crazy people out there, though.
Why don't we fix ourselves first and stop worrying about the government? But we don't do that. We have a problem, and we want the government to fix it for us. But we don't have an idea how to fix that. But the government's supposed to have this idea.
I'm not familiar with this case, but it sounds to me that
it was funny because
nobody's at fault.
No,
as far as
the parents are at fault.
Workers,
the social workers,
unless there was something like really egregious where the kid was black and blue and they.
I'm on like the fourth one or third one. I think there's only like 6 or 7.
I'm pretty sure they had documented like pictures.
No, there's stuff, but I don't think they were like the stories of all of them are not all the same. They're all different. Some have more weight than others. And my thing is, again, how do you, okay, let's just say one of the Hispanic lady, the younger one, she was a rookie, and her testimony was saying, her lawyer was stating that she did everything that was asked of her in questioning. But the question was, did she do enough? Now, if she did enough according to policy, right? Does she deserve to go to jail, even if the older lady did the wrong thing?
There's policy standards, and then there's like fucking common sense standards.
Sure, but common sense and standards are two different things when it comes to profession. Now, mind you, these are people that are having conversations over the phone. Two different things.
Well, that's the thing.
No,
you can't do anything over the phone.
No, but they didn't visit them.
No,
not all of them.
Well, at least some of them did.
I don't remember who visited who, but I'm just saying, like, if the system needs to change, how do you change it? I don't know, because it's one of those systems where the system is based on basically keeping kids in the family. That's the core. The core is to keep the kid with the mother and the father, right? That's the core. That's what they want. That's what we as Americans, as people, voted that we want. Now, this happened.
Well, then, I don't
This
know. They
happened.
should
So now how do we
that
change
to-
that?
Change their motto to keep kids safe instead of keep them with their
How do
parents.
we do it though?
I mean,
If we get a complaint, do we take the kid for a month
not
just to see what
I
happens?
wouldn't say a complaint. I'd say physical evidence where the kids
And well, okay, so
really
if you have a physical,
beaten.
if you have physical evidence, let's say he has a bruised eye, the mother's saying that he fell down the stairs. The kid said he fell down
you
the
can't
stairs,
do anything about
and the
that.
kid said he fell down the stairs. Let's just say that because he was telling
the
he
kid
was
fell
telling
down
his
the stairs.
classmates that shit was happening, like he was falling off a bike or whatever, blah blah blah. So that adds to the problem. So now, when do we cross that line and take the kid anyways? If the kid is confined as if the kid's story and the parent's story kind of line up, then when do we go from there? It's hard.
then
It's
you're
such a
fucked.
hard thing. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know a solution. I don't know how you do that, because if the goal is to keep the kid with the family, that's your goal. You try the hardest to do that.
I mean, take a kid to like a psychotherapist and have him explain to the kid, you're safe here. You can say whatever you want. Anything you say isn't gonna be.
Sure, but that could be planned out too by the parents, because if the parents know that that's going on, they're gonna prep them for that.
Yeah, but
No,
a
but,
therapist has the ability to
Therapist,
see
yeah,
behind
manipulate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a way. That's an option.
You can manipulate a kid pretty.
That's an
pretty
option.
Easily.
That's an option. So can parents, apparently, because they manipulated him to not telling people that it was I fell off a dirt bike or whatever it may be. I think he told the teacher that he was getting beat. But then again, if I would have told my teacher that I was getting hit with a belt, so you're fine, walk it off.
I know you. You probably deserve it.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know a solution. So to me, I can't really, it's hard for me to get involved in those things because I don't know what a solution is. The solution for me would be take the kid. Right when you see something
can't
really bad,
really
you can't do that though, because then people are going to complain about that. You can't just take kids. That's horrible.
Well, you said something really bad. What's
Sure. Like
really
let's say you go to the house, he has bruises or whatever. To me, take him for a week and see what happens and see what he says. You got to get him comfortable because he's not gonna talk to you the first day. He's gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
Keep him for a week or keep him for a few weeks by law, so that way they can be interviewed, they can be taken care of over here, and so they calm down. And then maybe they'll talk to you. That might be an option. But that's an option I'm giving. So that would be something I can go to a news person and say, this is why I'm protesting. This is what I think should happen.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people just say, no, justice for whatever, Gabriel Fernandez. Okay. What's justice? What do you think is justice?
You should have died.
I don't. Okay.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Tell me
What
how we
what
could
kind
avoid
of justice do you think is justice? What do you think is justice? What do you think is just? How do you think the law should change? But we don't go that far because people don't care about that. They just want to make noise. And that's where I think we fuck up as a society. I think that's the problem because nobody has solutions, man. Have you noticed even the stuff that's going on right now? Nothing changed. Nothing has changed. Not too long ago, a couple days ago in not Kenosha. There was another one, another situation.
Philadelphia.
Philly, another situation. Okay, here we go. Everybody's making noise, but no solutions. So this is gonna die down like everything else. And here we go again until the next one happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one has solutions. There's no solution. And in this case, it was even weirder because again, why do people just stop what you're doing and nothing happens? That state's weird too because they don't have to carry tasers either. But I think it's interesting. So that's another case, but
What if
we don't know what to do and we don't offer solutions. We just want to complain. Let's stop complaining and let's think about what we can do to solve the problem. And again, the problem and your solution has to be logically, it has to be something that is feasible, right? It can't just be
take the kid away as soon as you see a bruise?
it can't be that either because that's not reasonable. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
It has to be something that's reasonable, but I gotta finish the series. I gotta see what happened, but hopefully, I think those
next time
two.
finish it and then talk about it.
It's still an interesting story, but I think I think they deserve death penalties, but
Yeah.
then again, that's another question. Like, does the government really have the right to take your life?
Yes.
Why?
What do you mean, yes?
They took the life of a kid.
I think they should do that regardless. My opinion. I think every state should have death penalties, and for lesser things. If you're gonna serve, if you're gonna serve life, they should just put you down. There's no point of having you there. You're never getting out of there.
Sometimes I feel like life is worse though than the death penalty. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
want the
in
people to
some
suffer
cases.
in jail. In other cases,
I'd rather
if it's
save taxes
really
and
wild,
resources.
then just
That's
No,
just me.
I think it costs more because you gotta retry them.
yeah, and people. That
That's why I'm
are
saying that
on the
we
death
should
penalty are there for, like, years.
Death penalty should be a lot simpler. If you're gonna serve 25 to life with no option of parole at all, they should just put you down. What's the point of having you there?
I feel like that's.
If I'm 17 and I can get off in 25
You're
years,
not
I don't
gonna
wanna
no.
die.
If you're no, I'm talking about if you're doing life, right? Because they say 25 to life, right? So 25 to life is like if you're old, like Bill Cosby's probably not gonna get 25 years before he dies. So if you're in jail for life with no option of parole, meaning you're never coming out, you're not coming out.
Sounds like that Nicki
They
Minaj
should just
song.
they should just put you.
For life.
They should just put you down. My opinion. That's just me. Because I mean, what's the point? Why are you there? You're just taking up a cell.
Yeah, that's true.
You're taking up resources. You're never gonna go back into society. And even if they allowed you to go into society, you're probably gonna go right back in, because those people go crazy in there, man.
Yeah.
People go crazy in jail. That's another problem. Jails, the way jail works, like that's kind of weird too. Like I think the same thing about military. Like when people come back from the military and they go crazy, like I don't think they should just let people come back.
Put them down.
Give them adequate resources.
No, I think when it comes to the military, if you come out of the military after serving 10 years in a wartime, they have to put you have to do something else, man. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you why. When it comes to jails, I mean, put them in the army. Force them to go to the army. There you go. If you're gonna serve 25, if you're gonna be a life,
Give a criminal a gun.
yeah, but you're putting them in a military situation. So they're probably going to shoot in the
I don't
direction
like
of an
the sound
enemy.
that.
I don't agree with that.
Unless you're dropping them down in Afghanistan and they got to
Sure.
fend for themselves, then
Sure.
maybe okay.
But I don't know. I don't know what to do with like military people that come back sometimes are so fucked up mentally, because all they know is killing.
True.
You know, I again, that's another one. It's hard for me to comment on because what's the solution to that? I don't know. It's hard because like, what kind of job do you give them where that's not going to be an issue ever? How do you even know that's never going to be an issue? You know,
Being a person that fought off a zombie horde, I
then you got killed by Nemesis, so you didn't do much.
Oh.
Oh, you last? No, Jill. You know what? Jill's alive in one of the games, so you're all right.
thank you.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's gonna be our show. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you think. I mean, if you agree with me or agree with anyone, that's fine. No big deal. I'm gonna
like
debate
the
with you
outfit?
anyways.
The outfits.
Oh yeah.
If
like
you don't
this.
ever want to see him come in this outfit again, please hit the thumbs up button. Again, all of this is in our opinion. If you don't agree with it, I got 3 words for you. Thanks for listening.